They didn't know, did they? They had no idea it was their last chance. The last moment before everything changed. The last opportunity to step up, to be there for you, to choose you. And now, they'll live with that hollow ache in their chest, that gnawing realization that they let you slip away. Forever. Do you think they'll ever forget? No. That moment will haunt them. The conversations they brushed aside, the times they didn't listen when you spoke, pouring your heart out. The days they let you stand alone when all you wanted was someone to stand beside you. They'll replay it in their minds over and over like a broken record, asking themselves why they didn't try harder, why they didn't appreciate what they had while they had it. But here's the truth they'll never admit to themselves. They were complacent. They thought you'd always be there, waiting, forgiving, giving more of yourself even when they gave nothing in return. They assumed your kindness, your patience, your loyalty were infinite. And oh, how wrong they were. Because there's a limit, isn't there? Even for someone like you. Someone who loves deeply, who gives without expecting much in return, who holds on longer than most would. But there comes a moment, a quiet, piercing moment, when you realize that staying isn't love anymore. It's self-destruction. You didn't leave because you wanted to hurt them. No, that's not who you are. You left because you finally understood the truth. If you stayed, you'd lose yourself. And you've spent far too long building yourself up, piece by piece, to let someone else tear you down. Walking away wasn't weakness, it was strength. It was the hardest thing you've ever done, to turn your back on something you invested so much of your heart into. To say goodbye to the hope that maybe, just maybe, they'd finally see your worth. But deep down, you knew the truth. They were never going to. And that's not your failure, that's theirs. They'll sit in silence now, won't they? They'll feel the weight of your absence like a tidal wave crashing over them. And the funny thing, they won't even fully realize what they lost until it's too late. Until they see you thriving without them. Until they hear your name spoken in rooms they'll never enter. Until they see you become everything they were too blind to see. Because you are rare, do you hear me? Rare. Not everyone gets to meet someone like you in their lifetime. Someone who gives without keeping score. Someone who loves without conditions. Someone who shows up even when it's inconvenient. Even when it hurts. And they'll realize too late that they had a treasure in their hands, but they treated it like a burden. They didn't know, did they? They didn't realize it was their last chance, the final moment before the door shut forever. And now they'll live with the weight of what they lost, a wound they'll never fully heal from. Because they thought they had time. They thought you'd always be there, waiting, forgiving, holding on just a little longer. But time ran out, and so did your patience. You gave them everything, your energy, your love, your trust. And you asked for so little in return, just respect, just acknowledgement, just effort. But they didn't see it. Or maybe they saw it but didn't care enough to cherish it. They grew comfortable, entitled even, thinking you'd stay no matter how they treated you. They forgot that even the strongest hearts have limits, that even the most forgiving souls reach a breaking point. And now, as they sit in the silence you left behind, they'll replay every moment they took for granted, every word they didn't say, every time they chose to look away when you needed them the most. But this isn't about their regret. This is about your growth. You didn't walk away because you wanted to hurt them. No, that's not who you are. You walked away because you finally understood something they never did. You deserve better. You deserve love that doesn't come with conditions. You deserve loyalty that doesn't waver. You deserve someone who sees your worth without needing a reminder. Walking away was the bravest thing you've ever done. Because staying would have been easier, wouldn't it? It's easy to stay in the familiar even when it's painful. But you chose yourself. You chose your peace. You chose to stop pouring your energy into someone who couldn't, or wouldn't, meet you halfway. And that takes strength. Let them wonder now. Let them feel the emptiness you left behind. Let them wrestle with the questions they'll never get answers to. Because they'll realize, too late, that you weren't just anyone. You were the one. The person who would have stood by them through anything, if only they had appreciated you. But their lack of effort? That's not your burden anymore. You've carried it long enough, and now it's time to lay it down. To move forward. To build a life where your energy is matched, your love is reciprocated, and your presence is valued. Because you are rare, do you understand that? Rare. Not everyone gets to meet someone like you, a soul so giving, so resilient, so full of light. And they had that gift in their hands. They had you, and they let you go. So let them live with that. Let them sit in the mess they created while you rise from it stronger than ever. This is your moment now. The moment you stop looking back and start running toward everything you deserve. It won't be easy. Growth never is. There will be nights when the ache of what you lost feels unbearable. But remember this. You didn't lose them. They lost you. And what they lost? It's irreplaceable.